I'm joined by Stephen Agnew, former leader of the Green Party here and now head of the Northern Ireland Renewables Industry Group, NIRIG, which of course represents renewable electricity interests. Welcome, Stephen.
Hi, Jimmy.
Stephen, what is the core element that NIRIG would like to see in the new energy strategy being devised by the Department for the Economy?
We're calling for an 80% renewable electricity target for 2030. Northern Ireland currently sits just around 45%, which is a tremendous achievement. And we think we have the potential to hit 80% by 2030 and do so in a way that I suppose is affordable and achievable.
Do new onshore wind farms here need subsidies anymore to be viable?
It's been shown now that new renewables is the cheapest form of electricity generation in the UK. So I think we've moved away from the need for subsidies, but there's still a need for some vehicle to garner the investment in renewables. If we look at England, they have the contracts for difference, and we'd like to see something similar in Northern Ireland. And the analysis of the English model has shown that it has been both good for the industry and with good benefits for the consumer. So it's been a way of delivering new renewables without that subsidy level that we may have seen in the past that was needed to get renewables off the ground. Now it's an established industry. As I say, it's just about finding the right vehicle.
What role should offshore wind farms play in our future?
I think offshore will be key. There was one project proposed for Northern Ireland. Unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition, but it would have had a capacity of 400 megawatts. To put that in context, our total renewable generation in Northern Ireland is just over 1,600. So it would have added an extra quarter on to what we're already generating. We're a wee bit behind. So we've seen across Great Britain and indeed the South Republic of Ireland, we've seen the emergence of offshore wind in particular and a little bit of tidal. I think we're a wee bit behind that in Northern Ireland, but certainly by the middle of this decade, with the right policies in place, we could see offshore playing a big role.
Have local politicians here the appetite for the radical policies we need to achieve net zero carbon by 2050?
I think there's a couple of sides to that. I think if you looked at the context before COVID, climate change was much higher up the agenda. You know, likes of Greta Thunberg and David Attenborough were becoming kind of mainstream media, and some of the radical policies, or some of the policies that may be seen as radical in the past, it started to become more mainstream. So I think that the politicians will find that voters are now thinking a lot more about climate and demanding more of politicians. But I also think with the net zero UK government policy and indeed legislation, there'll be pressure from the UK government for Northern Ireland to play its part. Wasn't always the case with the Climate Act, but I think now, certainly from speaking to decision makers, it is being made clear that Northern Ireland has to be aiming for net zero as much as the rest of the UK.